Good morning, students. Okay, this is Scratch. How you open it up is very easy. We have this Scratch icon, so you just double click on the Scratch icon, and then it will open up. Okay, so I'm just gonna do only the basics. Okay, and next week we will continue with much more advanced thing. So let me magnify this so that you can be able to see. Magnify so that you can be able to see what I'm magnify. Just a minute. Sorry. So magnify. Okay, so this is Scratch, and you can download it on your computer so that you can, once I teach you, you can also try and practice at home. So I'm gonna zoom it. So on your left hand side, we have these buttons. We have motions, looks, sounds, events, controllers, sensing, operators, variables, and my blocks. So the most important thing for you to understand is that when you are programming your sprites, okay, sprites are these stuffs over here. So when you're programming sprites, we will use these blocks. Okay, so this is motion block. On motion blocks, we have move. You can move 10 steps. You can turn 15 degrees right. You can turn 15 degrees left. You can go to, all these are blocks that we will be using to design our sprites. Okay, I'll show you examples of sprites, so don't worry. So we have looks, okay, and you can make your sprite say something. You can make your sprite say hello for 2 seconds, okay. You can make your sprite think for 2 seconds, okay. So we also have sounds. You can record a sound. If you want your sprite to speak, you can record one of these sounds, okay, or you can choose from one of these sounds. We have events, okay. When the green flag is clicked, when this flag is clicked, something has to happen to your sprite, okay. So these are called uh, uh, blocks, okay. We have motion blocks, looks block, sound block, event block, control block. All those are blocks, okay. And those blocks are what we use for coding, okay. Then after that we have what we call costumes, okay. If you click on costumes, uh, if you click on costumes, uh, as you can see on this side, on the left hand side, we have two costumes. You have costume 1 and costume 2, okay. You can duplicate your costume if you want. You can click duplicate and you can have another costume. You can click duplicate and you can also have another costume, okay. So you can have as many costumes as you want, okay. And over here um, you can let me minimize. You can edit your costume, okay. You can use this pointer button here, and you can select the head. If you want to select the tail, you can select the tail using the pointer over here. You can select the legs, okay. You can select the head, and also you can move your sprite, okay. You can move your sprite using your pointer, okay. Then you can also paint background. You can also paint background, okay. And the way you can paint background, you can paint background using your this paint over here. You can paint using this paint over here. You can see this paint over here. So you can fill, but before you fill, you have to click on convert to Bitcom. Bitcom is down here. So you can click down here, convert to Bitcom. So once you click on convert to Bitcom, it's gonna convert to vector. Then after that, you can click on the paint, and then you can choose what paint you want to paint. Okay, so you can choose green color. You know, we have all these different types of paints. So you can choose any paint you want, and then click on the background, and it's gonna fill up. Okay, so you see, so that's how you use costumes. Okay, you can edit your sprite, and you can duplicate your sprites. Okay, the same way we did here. You can also delete your sprite and export your sprite. Okay, then we have sounds. Over here you can record a sound. Okay, probably you want this sprite 1. This is a sprite, as you can see. As you can see over here, this is sprite 1. Okay, if you want your sprite to speak, or you want it to say hello or how are you, you can record your sound here. Okay, you can just record your sound here, and then after that you can connect it to the sprite, and the sprite will say hello. Okay, so yeah, so that's it. We have chord, costumes, and sound. Then after that, on this side over here, we have now what we call the stage. This is a stage. Okay, and this is a green flag, which means go. If you click on this, something has to happen to your sprite. Okay, and also you can change the name of the sprite. You can say cat. You can change the sprite name and say cat1. Okay, and then click enter. So it's gonna change the name of the sprite. Okay, you can decide to show your sprite, or if you click here, it shows your sprite. If you click here, it shows your sprite. If you click here, the sprite disappears. Okay, you can also change the size of your sprite. Okay, you can change it probably to 50. Okay, 500, and then you'll have a bigger sprite. Or you can even reduce the size by clicking 50. Okay, you can also change the direction, 90 degrees. You can also change the direction. Let's give an example of 80, and then your sprite will change 80 degrees. Okay, you can see over here, you can change your sprite the way you want, the direction. You can make it face any direction that you want your sprite to face. Then after that, how do you select a sprite? This is sprite 1. How do you select sprites? Okay, so what you have to do is just come down here, choose sprite. Okay, if you want to select a different sprite, you can delete this sprite by clicking delete. As you see, the sprite is gone. And how do you insert a new sprite? Just click on choose a sprite. Okay, choose a sprite and click on it, and we have so many sprites over here. We call them sprites. Okay, we have Abby as a sprite, we have Amon as a sprite, we have an Apple as a sprite. All these are sprites. You can choose any sprite you want depending on what you want the sprite to do. Okay, you can let's say you can choose a sprite, a car. Let's look like this is a truck. Okay, you can choose that sprite and double click on it, and then the sprite will appear over here. So you have this sprite as the car. You can also decide to choose the background of the sprite. How do you choose the sprite background? At the right corner down here, we have choose backdrop. So click on it, and you will have so many backgrounds. Okay, so you can choose any background you want. For this, I think it's okay if we choose the night city. Okay, so if you click, if you double click, you will see the background will appear. So you will have this track riding along the city. Okay, as I said, you can also change the size of this sprite by reducing. You can say 50. Okay, and then click enter. So the sprite has reduced its size. Okay, so yeah, that's what you need to do. Okay, and that's what you need to understand when it comes to the basics. Then yeah, that's all. So you can play around, you can play around with the sprites. You can change the color. Okay, you can change the colors if you want. You can change the background color if you want. Okay, so I'll let you just play around with the costumes. Okay, these are the costumes, and also I'll let you play around with the sprites. Okay, yeah, so that's the introduction. I'll meet up with you for the next lesson, and we will continue. Thank you so much.